My name is Darren, and I have a story about Korea's most famous export.
Hi, I'm Gina, and I have a story about the 1976 bicentennial and how it all went wrong.
Hi, I'm Carlos. Did you know that Kansas City once had a king? It did, and I'm going to tell you about that.
What does all this have to do with barbecue? Find out in this episode of History Bluffs. Hello and welcome to another episode of History Bluffs. It's where truth is stranger than fiction. And now I want to welcome to the stage, it is your host, it's Alan!
Hey! Welcome to another episode of History Bluffs. Joining me is our tech, Adam. Hello, Adam.
Hi, Alan. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. It's good to hear from you, and
Yeah.
good to see all of our historians and anyone watching live. Thank you for participating, and I just want to thank everyone involved. And you know what? Our
What?
topic for today
Yeah?
is summer
Oh.
appropriate. What is it, Adam?
It is barbecue! Let's
Yes.
get a banner up for that, shall we? Let's
We're
see.
gonna get a
Just
banner
people-
up.
We'll get a banner up. Barbecue.
Let's get a
Should I
banner up.
abbreviate it? Or, yeah, let's just abbreviate it. Because you
We
can
know what you're
spell it
talking
out.
about. Exactly. BBQ.
It's the same syllables if it's acronymed or not.
Yeah.
Why do we
Exactly.
Why do we abbreviate that? I don't even know.
It's the same syllables. You're right. Well, we always pronounce it barbecue, so we spell it like that.
Okay.
BBQ would mean barbecue.
That's true.
Anyway.
Anyway, so that's the
For
topic.
those who have
We
never.
just know it's things that you men are really good at.
All right. The only time men like to cook seems to be on the hot grill.
When we're standing outside sweating.
Yes, exactly. And then
Gonna
we all
make
gather
us
around the
sweat.
fire.
Baby.
Baby.
Everything goes back to the 90s.
Yes, it
Oh.
does.
Oh,
All right.
man.
For those of you who don't go back to the 90s as far as recognizing history bluffs, we're going to explain to you what the rules of the show are. And we'll bring
Let's
up those
do
rules.
it. Alan, this is a game show. Let's see the historian rules.
Historian rules are that the historians must be inspired by the topic, which is barbecue. The true stories will be factual. They're actual, and everything is satisfactual. And then the bluff story, the crux of which will be fictional. There are some facts, but ultimately that person is a bluffer. And also from you, the audience, please do not help. I know that many of you are well educated and well versed in trivia, but don't spoil it for the rest of us.
They're
Got it,
smart.
Tech Adam?
They're smart. They
are
want to
very much.
participate, but I think I trust them. They'll sit on their laurels about it and watch the entertainment unfold.
Yes. The smartest audiences are History Bluff audiences. And another
Yeah.
thing that's very smart is the inclusion of our Round Tracker 9000,
Oh.
as displayed above me right now. That is
There it
what you will
is.
see at the end of the game. That is when all 3 rounds have been completed. There are
I'm gonna-
3 historians per round, and they will fill up as you see right now. Let's empty those right now, Adam.
All right. Here we go. And
Boom!
Boom.
gone.
There it is. Nope. Wait.
Nope.
Nope.
One-
There he is.
Ooh, that one's mischievous. Very nice.
All right.
Okay. I think the audience knows what's up. And if you haven't seen the show before, you're going to learn who our historians are throughout the course of the show. So, Adam, let's roll it.
Okay, we're going straight to round number 1. And here we are, round number 1.
We're back.
We're back.
All right.
And
We're going to
we're
go
back.
in this order from top to bottom. Darren, you're going to go first with your
Okay.
contribution inspired by the word barbecue. And, oh, by the way, this is round 1. So that means the round will be timed at 75 seconds.
Oh, okay. Are we ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. Here we go. Your round 1 begins now.
I'm crazy. I hate everything, but you're my everything. Please shut up, huh? I'm sorry. Hate you. I love you. I hate you. Forgive me. Shit. I need you, girl. I need you, girl. You're beautiful. I need you, girl. It's so cold. Girl, better just ask me to break up with you. Those, of course, are some of the timeless lyrics from the song I Need You by K-pop sensation BTS, which is arguably Korea's most famous export since the invention of the selfie stick. But before the selfie stick, what do you know about their other most popular export? And not Samsung TVs or Hyundai Kia cars, or those little cats that go like this. No, I'm talking about bulgogi, also known as Korean barbecue. The word bulgogi is actually a portmanteau of the Korean words bul and gogi, where bul means fire and gogi means meat. So bulgogi literally means fire meat. And bulgogi is considered by many to be the national dish of South Korea. But ironically, this most popular dish of South Korea actually comes originally from North Korea.
Ooh, what? You had me until that moment there, Darren, because I have had Korean barbecue, but I didn't know
delicious.
That it came from North Korea. What do you think, Gina?
Well, I think that K-pop guy needs to make up his mind. I hate you. I love you. I need you. It's so cold. Like, what the hell? And that is the part of the story I focused on. So I didn't realize we were going to do a barbecue like Mongolian. Is it Mongolian barbecue? Manchurian barbecue?
Korean barbecue.
Just Korean. Okay. I don't know the difference. I apologize to our Asian friends. But you can educate me if you want. Next time you see me, buy me lunch.
It's neither their job to educate you nor buy you lunch, Gina.
It's my job to ask.
Yes.
It might
Do the
work.
research and buy your own food.
His cute voice works every now and again.
Oh, boy. That's fair.
Carlos,
Fair
what's your
enough.
opinion?
Well, for a second, I thought Darren was going crazy. But then I realized Darren was trying to distract us with the beautiful lyrics from one of the world's greatest pop bands, BTS.
That's right.
Also, I was confused when I heard the word. I thought he said bulgogi, and I'm like, what? This is a family show. And then I realized he meant to say bulgogi. But quite frankly, either way, his story sounds like bullshitty because I don't believe it to be valid yet. Well, what are you just talking about? Korean barbecue? That's a thing, I guess. So where are we going with this, Darren? Where are we going with this? Did BTS invent Korean barbecue? No, they did
That'd
not.
be great.
And then he comes that cliffhanger about North Korea. Oh, that's some shock jock stuff right there.
Yes,
And
it is.
if the shitty part of the bull is part of the barbecue, I don't want it.
Oh, that's true.
No,
That is
ma'am.
true. Fun fact, my wife originally thought BTS stood for back to school, so
I did too.
Oh, you did too. Good. She's not alone. Very nice.
I always thought it was behind the scenes.
That is what it is.
DVD extras. Oh, it is?
That's what it is. Behind the
I
scenes
don't
is the
know.
more commonly
wow.
used initials for BTS.
Okay.
But yes, back to school. Apparently, they would abbreviate that on a yearly basis for the school
Oh.
sales in the
But
stores.
not barbecue.
But not for barbecue. Okay, so we've got Gina up next in her round one, inspired by
fantastic.
barbecue, and we're going to hear a cannon shot to start it off.
Okay, picture this. Hicksville, Ohio, 1976. A man and his family are celebrating a barbecue. The bicentennial? Yeah. It was 200 years for the United States at that point. The man's name was Stuart Russell. His neighbor was Johnson Harper. Russell had invited the neighbor over for the barbecue with the whole family. The neighbor only had a wife. They didn't have any kids. And then one of the things that happened while they were there is they started shooting fireworks off. One of the fireworks went a little bit too far and actually hit the neighbor beyond them. So Russell had to go to the police station that night, fill out a statement, that kind of thing. But while he was there, they fingerprinted him. His fingerprints alerted the FBI, and later the next morning, I should say, he was arrested. I will tell you exactly why and how that all fits in just a moment, but you need to know that Russell and his neighbor had been having fights for quite some time in terms of there was like a fence that had gone on. They were arguing over whose tree. There was an apple tree and a cherry tree that was on one side of the fence, and they were arguing over that. So they didn't have the best of relationships. Anyway, I'll get more into the reason for all of this and why it's important in the second round.
All right. Apple trees, cherry trees, bicentennials, amazing. Darren, what do you think?
Well, so far, I believe Gina's story that there were two potentially rednecks in Hicksville who did fireworks and it went awry. I think that tracks with the first
With
200
everything.
years of American history.
Yeah, that's how we won the war.
That's how it works. What do you think, Carlos?
I mean, unless his fingers had barbecue sauce on them when he got fingerprinted, I'm trying to figure out the connection here to the theme. But I tell you what, there's apple trees, there's cherry trees. It sounds suspiciously like an old folktale associated with one of our presidents. So I'm a little
Just a
obsessed right now,
little
Alan.
patience. That's GNR, Guns N' Roses.
That is GNR. That's what that stands for. I'm always fascinated by stories like this because I was also born in July of '76. So that's a fun fact. And another fact is that Carlos is going next here
What?
in round one.
It's gonna
That's right,
happen.
Carlos. Get it ready. All right, we
Okay.
want to hear from you
There
after
we
the
go.
boom.
Here we go.
Today I'm going to tell you about a man named Henry Perry. And you might be saying, who is Henry Perry? And if you're from Kansas City, you may know who Henry Perry is. And I'll give you a hint. He is tied and associated to one of the biggest things that you Kansas Cityans are known for, which is, of course, barbecue. Henry Perry is considered the king, the barbecue king of Kansas City, or at least he was. He has long since passed, a while back, but he's one of the first people to establish barbecue in the city and to have it grow out of what he established. Now, he was born in Shelby County, Tennessee. He started learning how to barbecue when he was just 7. By 15, remember, it's a long time. It's like the 20s and the teens. By 15, he was cooking professionally on a steamboat that traveled up and down the good old Mississippi. It took him to Chicago, Minneapolis, and finally Kansas City. Now, Kansas City, with its thriving meatpacking industry and abundance of hardwood trees, was a perfect destination for an aspiring barbecue entrepreneur. More to come.
No. There you go. What do you think, Darren?
I think the key word you said is Chicago. You're in Chicago, and you mentioned Chicago, and the subject is food, and you thought about the refrigerator, and then you thought about refrigerator Perry, and now you're Perry.
Are you accusing me of Kaiser Soze my story?
It's a Kaiser Soze accusation right there.
How dare you? How dare you
Big
do
time
the thing I
Kaiser
do?
Soze. It could happen to you too, Carlos.
No,
No.
All right. What do you think,
I would
Gina?
never.
Entrepreneur.
boy.
What was that?
Zing.
Oh boy!
I don't
Got told.
know. No.
How dare
No,
you?
no. This is a part of the story that does not scan for me. A barbecue steamboat went up and down the Mississippi serving its wares.
I didn't say it was a full-on barbecue boat.
It's just
The
like
man worked on the boat to cook.
barbecue here. Come to the port. I'll give you some barbecue. It's just like
Look at the size of that barbecue.
the best meat I've ever gotten was at Port Virginia.
Oh boy!
Wait, I don't think the Mississippi River doesn't even go to Virginia.
I'm making things up. I don't know. I just know it doesn't. It sounds suspect. That's
You hear?
They
She
named-
said she's
they
making
named the
things
ports.
up. Everyone heard that, right?
Uh-oh.
oh crap.
Oh no.
They named the
Those
ports
fighting
after
words.
Atlantic states in Mississippi.
yeah, Virginia.
Port Virginia.
This is Port South Carolina.
No,
Well,
it's
that's
not
it for
fine.
round one, Adam. See that round tracker up there?
Hey, that's all full up, Alan.
Filled it up. Let's
It is.
move on.
Let's move on. Hey, let's go to round number 2.
All right, we're back
And-
for round number 2.
Here we are.
All right, very nice.
It's a fresh
very nice.
round. How is this one different, Alan?
This one's different because the round is timed at only 1 minute, 60 seconds.
Aha. Well, that
Yeah.
is different. That's a history of a
is.
different color. Oh,
You know,
right.
we're gonna, we just keep knocking off 15 seconds per round because we know our audience's time is important to them,
They got
and
things
we
to do.
wanna. They do have things to do, so let's bring out Darren so we can hear what he has to do in round number 2.
Okay. Round begins now.
Okay, so before I get into how bulgogi made its way to South Korea, let's talk a little more about exactly what bulgogi is, because some people aren't familiar with it. Bulgogi is thin slices of meat, often beef, though pork and chicken can be used too. Bulgogi is always marinated, typically in a mixture of soy sauce, sugar, sesame oil, garlic, and black pepper. Though every chef, of course, has their own unique blend of spices that makes it their own. Traditionally, bulgogi is cooked over a hot charcoal fire, yielding an intense sweet and savory taste, which I can tell you after many trips to Seoul, Korea, is absolutely delicious. It's often paired with the delicious and spicy Korean hot sauce called gochujang, and of course, no Korean meal is complete without kimchi. Bulgogi cooking over charcoal fire is so popular in Seoul that the government has actually had to place limits on the number of restaurants in the city because the smoke was actually impacting air quality. So in the final segment, I'll tell you how bulgogi made its way from north to south.
A North Korean export. Gino, what do you say?
I wrote down the phrase, was the smoke impacting air quality? ? And I'm glad that you answered. I did not. What the hell? That was like the least consequential part of your story. And that's what makes me think it's not real. It was like
Ooh.
the very specific cool fact, but also why. Unless it makes sense in your round 3, then I give you a bye.
Oh, okay.
Most people know that communists don't need to breathe air. So, Carlos, what do you think?
I tend to believe that anything that impacts our environment is very consequential, quite frankly. That's
So now
number
you make
one.
me look like an ass. Thank you.
It's our
Number,
house.
number
Communist.
2. Is this a history show, Alan, or is it a cooking show now? Because
Oh.
I didn't know we were supposed to bring recipes and just talk about how to make food that may or may not exist. And P.S., I think Darren is getting paid by Big South Korea to promote South Korea right now, rather than to talk about an actual historical thing. I think the fix is in. I think he's getting cash on the side just to promote everyone to go to Seoul, Korea, rather than to actually do what this show requires.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Carlos,
Fun
I wouldn't
fact.
expect you to talk about barbecue in your story, would you?
What?
Oh!
What does that mean?
Oh.
Food.
King. What are you talking
Fun
about?
fact, and in no way related to your accusation that I'm being paid by the Koreans, but on the wall above me are 2 masks from Korea that were gifted to me. It wasn't a bribe; they were given to me as a gift of appreciation.
Also, fun
Uh-oh.
fact,
Uh-oh.
because you all are doing stories about food, I'm avoiding the FDA altogether, and mine has nothing to do with food.
Nicely
Oh.
done.
Except for the apple trees and the cherry trees, then yeah.
That's inconsequential. Why did I even bring it up? I might be lying.
Okay,
That's the
well,
second time she suggested she's lying.
oh wow. Well,
Oh,
Gina,
She's clearly the bluff.
wow.
Here we go.
Gina, you've got another opportunity to bluff right now, and let's hear that cannon.
Okay. Sorry, my bad. Can I restart?
Let's restart it, Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
let's
let
just
her
restart
restart.
it.
Let her
Shut
restart.
up,
She said
Carlos.
nothing. She said nothing.
She said
Go ahead, Gina, when you're ready.
It begins, right?
There it is.
Ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Your round 2 begins now.
Okay, so the Davenports got married at the Waldorf Astoria in New York City before they moved to Ohio. That was in 1964. In 1963, in Oyster Bay, New York, a spy ring was discovered in New York. There were 4 spies that had made their way to Oyster Bay. They landed in the middle of the night. This was in 1963, and they actually killed the poor people that were there and took their clothes. Except for 3 of them were arrested and hung. One of them escaped. That was Russell Davenport, the guy in Ohio. The reason it flagged the FBI fingerprints was because they had some of the fingerprints and some of the evidence from that ship. Years and years later, they kept kept it. They didn't really have the Interpol like they do now, where you can kind of go around and see everything the way you could before. But then it was flagged, and they had FBI agents show up the next day after their party and arrest Russell. Now, he was actually extradited to Israel, where they held him on trial for crimes against humanity in World War II. We'll get back. I'll tell you all about that in the next. I know, Steve.
We started in 76 and we ended in World War II.
Well, no, he was. Oh, okay. Well, go ahead.
No, I'm getting lost here, Gina. I know this is all building to some argument over property lines and stuff like that. Darren, what do you think?
Ask questions.
I think that was the most gleeful reading of the line "crimes against humanity" I've ever seen, and I love that. But mostly I love that Gina does not disappoint and that her story once again contains murder.
Yes,
That's true.
I know what I love.
Gina's story. Someone's gonna die. That's true. Carlos,
You never know.
what do you think?
We started with fireworks.
We did.
Then we got to the Davenports, whoever they are. I don't know who they are. And then we got to Aspiring. And then we got to Nuremberg. I feel like I don't know what's happening right now, Alan. I don't know what's happening.
It was
This is
Auschwitz, but I
crazy.
didn't get there yet.
Oh, boy.
Wow. And
Oh,
starting with
I'm
the
not gonna go there.
bicentennial, ending with Auschwitz. Okay.
Well, no, like I was doing like a time jump.
I hear
thing.
you.
Okay.
You're telling the story backwards.
This
It's
is
fine.
what happens when you let someone restart, Alan and Adam.
Oh, that's what
Oh.
happens.
Oh,
All right. Well, we'll let you
Okay.
start
Thank
right
you.
now, Carlos. You ready?
Yes.
Go.
All right, let's bring Carlos into the middle, and your round 2 begins now.
So we're in the early 20th century. We got Henry Perry. He's selling barbecue from a stand after he got off the boat where he just cooked. Not necessarily just barbecue, but he cooked a lot of things. He got his cooking on. Then he later moved his operation to Kansas City's historic 18th and Vine neighborhood, where liquor was free-flowing and jazz was just emerging. Now, over his long career, his business savvy led him to own multiple restaurants, eventually giving himself the nickname Barbecue King. He pulled a Michael Jackson, and he gave himself a royalty name. Now, by the 30s, other people started following his lead, and there were close to 100 barbecue restaurants in the area at some point. Now, when Perry died in the 40s, his 3 notable apprentices went on to cook for the 2 most historically famous barbecue restaurants in Kansas City, Arthur Pincard at the First Gates Barbecue, and Texas brothers Arthur Bryant and Charlie Bryant, who created Arthur Bryant's Barbecue.
Oh. Arthur
And
Bryant's
no
barbecue.
Spirings and no Davenports.
Okay, Darren,
Just
what do you say?
barbecue.
I'm
Still
not
going.
sure if this has been done in History Bluff's history, but this may be the first ever accusation of a double Kaiser Sosa when you came up with Barbecue King and Blues, BB King, Barbecue King,
Oh, wow.
double Kaiser Sosa.
That would be BBQ King.
The BBQ
The
King.
Q is silent.
Oh,
Is it really?
By the way, Kaiser Soze is when Kevin Spacey played a home running hero in baseball. That was really interesting. No one got the Sammy Sosa reference. Okay.
No.
Then,
No.
then
Because you said
Gina.
Sosa. I did notice you overpronounced that. I now know why.
Yes. Sammy Sosa, the movie calls him Soze, but it's okay.
Oh,
Gina, what's your take?
okay.
My take is that I don't care if he was cooking other food. Do you still go to the port to get a freaking hamburger from a steamboat?
he was
Giant
a cook
barbecue.
on a boat. He cooked on a boat. Boats have cooks for the people that work on the boat and go on the boat.
Oh, he wasn't like selling his wares up and down.
He was
each
learning his trade on
That's
the boat.
makes more sense. I give you a little credit.
Gina, you know how when the
Wow.
ice cream truck comes through the neighborhood and all the kids go chasing it?
That's
it's
what
like
I was
that.
thinking.
Yeah, it's like, oh, brr, brr, oh, it's the steamboat full of food.
Yeah, it's like bah, bah.
Kids
the
are
ribs.
running, getting eaten
Yes,
by
the
gators
hamburger
on
Bring
the
me
bun.
back
way.
my change. Oh
Yeah,
my
they're
God.
running and they're like doing this, so the steamboat guy will make the noise. Like,
I can
Quick,
see it
Pa,
all.
get a nickel. It's the hamburger boat.
yeah, exactly. Rocket pops are the most exciting. They're like,
What the- Where did
And
you come
on
from? All right, where are we at?
on a boat, the kitchen is called the galley. But
Oh.
are we done with round 2, Adam?
Oh, let's check. I almost forgot we had it. Hey, look at that. We've got a.
Look at that.
It's full up. Alan.
What time is it, Adam?
It's time, Alan, to go to round number 3. Hey, we're back. We are back from round 2 into round 3.
The abbreviated piano sting to save time is what we're doing here. Darren, this is your final attempt to convince us that you're telling the truth about Korean barbecue. You ready?
I'm ready.
Do it.
Your round begins now.
Okay, so bulgogi actually originates in Pyongan, which is a province in the far north of Korea near China. So how did it make its way south? Well, it's pretty simple. In the late 1940s, before the Korean conflict broke out, a lot of refugees fled from the north and ended up in the south. They brought with them their local delicacy, which was called bulgogi. And it was a hit with the locals in South Korea. And in fact, it became so popular that the word bulgogi was actually added to the first ever Korean language dictionary, which was published in 1947 in South Korea, just before the Korean War started. And now, they didn't have K-pop back in the 1940s, but I'm willing to bet if they did, their first hit would have been about Korean barbecue, not about dumping some chick.
All right. Gina, what do you say?
Well, first of all, I call bullshit that it was the first word in the Korean dictionary because unless their alphabet starts with B, I call BS. Okay, so then also, hi, I have to leave my country because it might have war and I have to pack a go bag and take all of my belongings. Money, nah. Family history, no way. Let's take the local delicacy. That's important.
Oh,
Gotta have fancy foods. Carlos.
I guess so. That's the only way to refugee.
It's you're in with the locals. Dinner parties.
I don't know. It's, you know what, I have to say that of the two stories so far, Gina's is the more
Fun.
wild, unbelievably wild of the two. That's all I'm going to say right now. There you go.
All
Okay.
right, all right.
Very nice.
It does not require applause.
The audience appreciates your input.
Says you.
Oh, Gina.
Yes.
Gina, we're going reverse time. We had a conflict in 1976, but we need to hear more of this background of these people involved. You ready?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Do it.
Good. You're ready. Here we go.
Okay. Flash forward to Israel in 1977. The Israeli, I don't know if they were, I think they're called solicitors, but I apologize, I don't know. The lawyers brought in a parade of pictures and photographs from Auschwitz in 1941, and this man's face and photograph was in there. They had eyewitnesses that were in the concentration camp there as well, and they recognized him as the check-in person. It's not like a desk, but like when people come in, they have to be checked in on a list, and then he was the guy who did that. They called him Ivan the Terrible, and he was then sentenced to 5 years in an Israeli prison before he would be extradited to Germany to serve out time there. He was actually then, there was some kind of technicality, he was released, and he is 89 years old. He's still living in Ohio, and there is potentially another trial, but he has his doctor saying that he's too old and would be too frail to experience that, and would they let him go? And that is the story.
All right, Darren, what do you say?
I have heard stories about former Nazis and such being found living very ordinary lives in the U.S. and whatnot after the war. So that part does sound plausible, but I don't know.
Don't know. Not sure.
You have questions?
Well,
I'll take questions.
I don't have questions.
no questions, but you don't know. Okay, Carlos, what do you say?
No.
Does this man have family in the U.S.?
Yes, he has 3 children. He has one. What he's saying is his brother, there is suspicion that is not his actual blood relative. He's one of the other spies. And then there's also 3 children, and 2 of his children have grandchildren as well. They also, just so that you know, they go and visit him, but they're not really, he's in solitary confinement over there. So while he was over there, they got to visit him and such, but they wouldn't really let him stay, see each other face to face.
All right, and it's the same guy that got fingerprinted because of the fireworks?
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, Carlos is done. All right.
Oh wow, that was a
That's
very
it.
studious. He just grilled her. Get it?
All the information he needs,
Ah!
Carlos. We're gonna get. Oh, I hear that.
That's for me.
Nice
That's for
pun
me.
You
there.
deserve a one,
No.
one, one, one.
Oh no
Yeah,
way.
Trombone.
Sad
Not when
trombone
I'm in
yourself.
charge.
You deserve it.
What?
You deserve a
Oh.
trombone.
Fine.
There
Fine.
you go. We
Due to
get them,
popular
you get them
request.
too.
All right,
All right.
that's
Carlos.
fair. All right, where are we at?
Carlos's
Oh,
turn to wrap it
My
up.
turn to
Oh,
wrap
it
it
sure
up.
is. Let's get you to the
Whole
center.
game. This is his final entry for the game. Go for it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, taking it home, Carlos. Here it comes.
Speaking of wrapping it up, Perry would sell the barbecue cooked over oak and hickory. He would wrap it in newspaper for 25 cents. Now, his sauce was harsh and peppery, not sweet and tomato based. But when he died at 66 years of age in 1940, Charlie Bryant and his brother Arthur Bryant, they toned down the harshness of the sauce with tomato. They made it a little sweeter. Now, Henry Perry was also a generous man. In 1920, it was reported that he served a free barbecue dinner to 1,000 old men, women, and children on the vacant lot behind his 19th and Vine Street restaurant. He said he did it because God has been so good to him, and that he wanted to share his blessings with others. Oh,
Okay. That it, Carlos? Wrapped up?
yeah, he would do barbecued meats, opossum, groundhog, raccoon, beef, pork, and mutton, wholesale or retail, the best in the city, the barbecue king,
Wow.
Henry Perry.
All right.
All right.
Darren, what's your opinion?
So a man who basically ate nothing but barbecue meat his whole life lived to be 66. That's impressive.
That's true.
Somewhat. I don't know. What was life expectancy back then? I'm not sure. Gina, what do you say?
95.
Oh.
So like I believe that last line that Carlos said about best in the city until he started throwing in mutton and groundhog and all. I just cannot figure out how you make that taste nice. But more than anything, for 25 cents, he put it in a brown paper. He wrapped it in brown paper. For 50 cents, did Perry refrigerate it?
Oh,
Perry,
no,
the
no.
refrigerator.
I don't even know they had refrigerators back then. They had ice boxes. Maybe.
Maybe the refrigerator for Perry. All right. Well, now it is time. It is time to judge each other.
Ooh, this is
What?
Find
Oh,
out
look, the
who you
round
think-
tracker. It's full.
Totally full. We are done for the storytelling segment of the game, and now
are.
it is time to hear
Oh.
our opinions. What, Gina?
question for Carlos. Carlos, who gave him the name, the king name?
Self-named.
He was
He's
self-named. Okay.
He was like
Yeah,
king of
like
Oh.
Michael Jackson.
Okay.
I'm gonna
thank
be the
you.
king. I'm the king of this desk.
Okay. You
King
got
of
it, Adam.
Adam's desk. Adam.
There
Very
we go.
nice.
Have a time.
Darren?
All right.
Want to know your opinion here? Who do you think is telling
My-
the truth, and who is a history bluff?
Opinion. Well, like I said, I've heard similar stories of like SS, concentration camp guards and such, who were discovered in the U.S. much later, just seemingly living ordinary lives, and that much tracks with me. So I don't know that much about Kansas City barbecue history, so I'm going to have to go with Carlos as the bluff.
Whoa.
And also because he did a double Kaiser Soze.
Wow, and a double Kaiser Soze. All right, Darren accuses Carlos. Carlos, who do you accuse?
J'accuse. Well, here's the deal. Gina's story is insane, but she has specifics on order
Fair.
without hesitation. So either she is a sociopath or Darren is fibbing somewhere and he threw in BTS to distract us
Wow.
about Bukogi and the North and South Korea connection. So I think it's Darren.
Wow.
Darren. Wow.
That was hard. That was a tough job you had, Carlos. The way you framed that.
The
Wow.
way I pointed.
Carlos accuses Darren. That's a two-way tie. Darren, Carlos, Darren. Gina, what do you say? Who do you think is the bluff?
I'm not even hesitating on this one, Carlos, because of the
Carlos.
steamboat, because of the barbecue steamboat.
Oh, you never bought this. Not from round one. You didn't buy that steamboat, did you?
I did not ever call it a barbecue steamboat.
You literally
It's a boat
did.
we worked on.
We can go back and look. I guess I apologize. I might be wrong. I own it if I am, but that
might
just
be
made me
wrong.
laugh the way you explained it. Him going up and down Mississippi.
Mark Twain worked on the steamboat too. That's how he got his name. He's
But he
not
was
the
just
boat
steamboat.
writer guy.
The boat riding
He didn't sell
steamboat.
books from the boat. He
Carlos,
just
you know
worked
what?
on it.
You know what we're like? We're like those two neighbors fighting right now.
Over apple and cherry trees. Carlos, you're in the lead for getting accused. Both Darren and Gina, your fellow historians, think you are the bluff. So, if you are the bluff, you did a terrible, terrible job. Darren, you got one accusation from Carlos, the potential bluff. And Gina, you got no accusations, which means if you lied about that bicentennial story that was roughly something to do with barbecue, you win.
It literally started in a barbecue.
That's true. It did. Well, inspired by is how we do the histories. So, yeah,
Exactly.
that's valid. Okay, well, Alan,
Well,
I
I
think
have
it's
no
time for
idea.
you to step off of our virtual stage. I'm going to line up the potential bluff makers, and I will ask you now, do you think your bluff was Darren? Do you think your bluff was Gina? Or was your bluff Carlos? I have the knowledge. Get ready, prepare yourself, because the bluff was Gina!
No!
And she got away scot-free. Congratulations!
Thank you very much.
Tell them what they've won. You have won a brand new set of broil furniture. I'm
Yay!
gonna go
I'll
with
put it on my steamboat.
Oh, wow. Gina was the bluff. No one voted for Gina. Gina wins outright. She did a fantastic job. And Carlos
Congratulations. That's fantastic.
drew all of the accusations, both from Darren and from the bluffer, Gina. So that's interesting. That was fun. What do you guys think?
That was fun. So Darren's story about barbecue, the origins of bulgogi, is that's an accurate story.
From North
Yeah.
Korea, where ironically nobody eats meat anymore. Because
Fascinating.
They
Yeah,
don't?
it's
I didn't know that.
Because
Oh,
they
yeah.
ate all the meat. It's communist, and they have no resources at all.
No, and communists don't do
nothing.
livestock. Okay.
Well, they ate them
I
all,
guess
so
Uh-huh.
there's not enough profit to have more, I guess.
Huh.
So yeah, that's interesting. And then Carlos's story is true about the barbecue boat.
Yeah. That barbecue, the boatbecue. It's amazing.
Oh, and
I
those
want to
were-
chase that down.
King of Kansas City barbecue.
Oh,
Cool.
there it
Very
is.
fun.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yay.
Oh,
And
that's
those were
fantastic.
accurate BTS lyrics.
Sounds funny.
And
Back
you
to school
delivered.
lyrics.
Yeah, you delivered
like
them
in the
really
song.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well
Carlos, did he do Arthur Treacher's fish and chips also, since he has all the Arthur restaurants? Why do you always make that face when I ask you things?
I don't know what you're asking me right now. Did the Barbecue King create a fish restaurant? No.
He did other kinds of food on his little boat, so he could have.
Oh my God.
I'm making
He was a
barbecue.
cook
Oh,
that worked
British
on a
fish
boat.
and chips.
That's it. All right. Well, that's all the time we have today, folks. I want to give a big thanks to Alan for hosting this show and for our historians, Darren, Gina, and Carlos. This has been History Bluffs. We are here every week live streaming on Twitch and YouTube. You can hear us where you get your podcasts. We'll see you then.
All right.